I'm curious as far as, SaaS-enabled marketplaces is quite the topic, right? So are there maybe some kind of like unique insights or kind of key learnings, throughout your journey? And I know this is quite the journey, with COVID and everything, but some that you would maybe like to share with us as early stage marketplace founders?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, there's been a lot of learnings, and learnings at a very sort of overarching level from a business go-to-market standpoint, but down to very, very granular level too. If you think about like, how do you run your support functions? How do you run your customer success functions? How do you run your sales teams? From an overarching standpoint, one of the key things that SaaS-enabled marketplaces does, if you're able to really build that value, you can build SaaS-enabled marketplaces in every single sector. You have to sort of like really understand who the key stakeholders are within your customer base, and can you sort of like through the software product and then to the marketplace provide enough value across the spectrum. But one sort of advantage it had, which we didn't realize up until maybe 6 months ago, was like actually SaaS-enabled marketplaces versus true marketplaces allow you to go truly broad, and it does not leave a lot of sort of regional dependency on you. If you look at true marketplaces, some great marketplaces that have been built, raising enormous amounts of capital, you need teams on the ground. You need to build localized demand, localized supply, especially if they're a consumer marketplace. You need to think about sort of how each city operates very, very differently than the other one. What we've seen is, in some shape or form, with SaaS-enabled marketplace, you truly act like a software business. We're actually running our entire operations across all major states in the US and provinces in Canada, right here in Toronto. Like the entire team is based out of here. We don't have localized teams in each and every city to build demand and supply. So that's a key advantage, because it allows you to go broad and it allows you to go very quickly. The second thing is, if you're truly sort of unit economic driven, it starts to sort of make revenue for you from day one because of the subscription layers. If your software, if the product you're building can actually provide that value, which is you don't have to fundamentally depend on eventually making revenue and contribution margins at some point in your cycle later on. So that's a key advantage for us, and then you layer in with marketplace and sort of like other values. But one sort of, so that's kind of the overarching go-to-market learnings that we've had over the last 12 months. If I go in a bit deeper, and I think we realized this, again, wasn't like very clear from day one. As a true marketplace, you think about how you run customer success, customer support, customer service, sales to some extent, in a very different and maybe more transactional manner, versus what we have realized over the course of time is like, you can't run that in a transaction. Now, it may be very different from other marketplaces. I will mention the caveat for us, because we have small businesses in particular, or businesses on both the sides of the spectrum. You have to almost run your business operationally, keeping that mindset, that you sort of like at the support level or at the operational level, you're building, or you're building some level of sort of like software, org structure. So, we've gone from like customer success being super transactional across all accounts to now customer success team owning certain accounts. Typically what a software company would do or a SaaS company would do. Sales, very similar. Customer support, we're changing that right now. So, and that's with all learnings. We tested out the true marketplace model, which is very transactional, ticket by ticket support, to now saying, actually, there's some key learnings, and you have to deliver value because you're dealing with businesses on both the sides to provide support from a software, like how SaaS companies are run, but the underlying sort of core DNA can still be the marketplace. So it's a very unique balance between the two. You have to learn from both the sides. And you can't truly be like, oh, well, I want to build a core marketplace, but realizing, no, you're actually building a SaaS-enabled marketplace. And that sort of muscle to learn and evolve, the quicker you can do is very, very beneficial. But we've seen internally, whether it's operations or CS or sales or entire sort of like customer function, we've seen a major shift in how we were running it even 12 months ago to how we're running it today, because we're evolving and learning more and more about how to provide that level of support to our customers.